This horrific image shows the crisscrossing scars inflicted on one slave who was freed from a plantation in Louisiana. This horrific picture shows a father staring at the hand and foot of his 5-year-old, severed as punishment for failing to make the daily rubber quota in the Congo, 1904. Slave shackles being removed by a British sailor, 1907. Rescued slaves crowd the deck of the HMS Delphine, 1868. Many slaves endured long days doing the back-breaking work of picking cotton on plantations in states like Georgia. Australian Aborigines in chains at Wyndham Prison, Australia, 1902. Selknam natives en route to Europe for being exhibited as animals in human zoos in 1899. Lady in a litter being carried by her slaves in Brazil, 1860. Isaac and Rosa, the emancipated slave children from New Orleans, 1863. This is a picture of prisoners of the US who were captured and forced to be slaves during the war. The Japanese treated these slaves so badly and only left them if they were killed or freed. These tall women were imprisoned in China, since women were only supposed to grow to a certain height, and those who grew above it were punished by standing with a door that had holes over their head. Before slavery was abolished, there were slavery conventions organised by slaves themselves, who were working to end slavery. This photo shows the members who were successful in abolishing slavery. Amazonian slaves. This picture shows 4 of the countless people from the Amazonian tribe that were used as slaves. These slaves were stripped of their clothing and chains were put around their necks as if they were rabid dogs or stray cats. A rare photo of a North American slave ship taken in 1862. In 1904, Otto Benga was kidnapped from the Congo and taken to the US, where he was exhibited with monkeys. The photograph offers an insight into the lives of enslaved children in the United States, some of whom were forced to toil in fields alongside their mothers when they was just toddlers themselves. A former slave holding a horn, which slaves were called, near Marshall, Texas. A slave tied and chained. Prices of enslaved persons varied widely over time, due to factors including supply and changes in prices of commodities such as cotton. Even considering the relative expense of owning and keeping an enslaved person, slavery was very profitable. Over the period of the Atlantic slave trade, from approximately 1526 to 1867, some 12.5 million captured men, women and children were put into ships in Africa, and 10.7 million arrived in the Americas. Joseph Carpenter, an abolitionist who fought to free the slaves, pictured here with a slave girl,